Now, Dr. Brucey, good guy. He was actually one of my university professors back in the day as well. So you just had him for about 5 minutes. I had him for an entire semester teaching me immunology back in 2013, which is just mind-boggling. He was actually one of the first doctors to, back in the day, like decades ago, when he was at Stanford University in the US, he was teaching and doing a lot of scientific research on stem cells in laboratories before people actually knew what stem cells really were. But that's a story for another time. Okay, so let's go into the next slide. While you're downloading subconscious perception and understanding of your world, especially during the first 7 years of your life, from your parents, your mentors, your authority figures, from your TV, through people talking around you, from your environment, from society, what your subconscious brain is simultaneously doing, it's creating a hierarchy of priorities from what's most important to least important. It's injecting a value here, it's injecting a value there. My parents said this about money. My parents said my society really values this kind of sport in life, etc., etc. And it's doing this over millions of data inputs, and it's being very lazy and assumptive. Like you said, it's in download. And it's creating this value of what's important to my survival in life, to belonging in this community so I don't die, essentially. And it's creating this unconscious, so that you don't even know, but it's creating this hierarchy of priorities. So hypothetically, if you're a football player, wherever you are playing in the world, whether it's soccer, Australian rules, American, rugby, whatever the fuck, hierarchy is this, and there's certain beliefs about football. So my team's better than yours, etc. You should play like this. Dating, certain beliefs about dating, certain beliefs about women, certain beliefs about being romantic, or whatever the hell. Science fiction's a priority because my dad was a science fiction writer, and your finance might not even be high on your most hierarchy of important ideas and concepts and values, because it wasn't a high priority in their subconscious, you see. And even if it was, if finances were up in the top 3 to 4 hierarchy of importance in your life, you may have certain beliefs about finance. So money's bad, people who have a lot of money suckering people out of it. It could be this, like in those early stages, you look at your parents as though they're gods. You don't know any better. So a lot of people, they actually won't surpass their parents' income because they don't want to lessen the idolization of their parents. So if their dad made 60 grand a year, they don't really want to surpass that because they don't want to lessen the importance of someone they look up to so much. So what you may have heard this hierarchy of being called in the past is actually your reticular activation system. There's a bit of a misconception about this system. A lot of people don't quite understand just how important it is. So we're going to go into a little exercise here. I want you to close your eyes right now while you're watching the video. Just close them and I'll direct you on the exercise. So in about 10 seconds, I want you to open your eyes when I say, and I want you to scan your room, scan your environment, and look for the color yellow. Yellow, 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 yellow. Where is it on the walls? Where is it on the computer? So we'll do that in about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes. You've got 2 seconds. Look for the color yellow. Yellow, where's yellow? Scan your room, scan your environment, and close your eyes. Keep them closed. And while your eyes are closed, what I want you to do is I want you to just think about where in the room were you able to see the color purple. You weren't even looking for the color purple. All you could see was yellow. In fact, you liked looking for the color yellow so much, you probably saw the color beige or cream and you just said, yep, that's yellow, next. So this is a brief example of your reticular activation system. It'll look for things. You can open your eyes now, by the way. It'll look for things that are high on its agenda right now. It'll block out, it won't even register things because the brain is lazy and assumptive, yet powerful. It won't even look for the color purple when it's looking for the color yellow. So if we go back to this hierarchy of priorities right here, it won't even be looking for finances if football is high on the agenda. It won't even know to look for finances when football is high on the agenda. And when it does look for finances, it might be compromised by certain beliefs about finances. So you're starting to understand how the reticular activation system works. And yeah, I've got these little sunglasses, my little hangover baby right here. It's a great analogy. So I want you to assume like your brain has these subconscious hierarchy of priority sunglasses on 24/7, 365, 95% of the time, like Bruce said. 5% of the time, you take these glasses off and you can actually see and consciously understand and rationalize and be creative about what's strategic in the modern world. Like you might take these sunglasses off and say, oh fuck, I should get my finances sorted. Oh fuck, I should have this different belief about my social life. Oh fuck, I should have this kind of exercise regime. I should eat this certain way. But you can only do that 5% of the time. Every other time, these sunglasses go back on and you're filtering the world through these realities, this hierarchy. And that's it, because it's 95% of the time that you're seeing the world through your own subconscious hierarchy of priorities in life. Because it's so devastatingly a long period of time, it can either work for you or against you, and it's constantly compounding. So day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, you're refining your own neurological systems and cutting the fat of things that are bogging you down. And if it's not high on your priorities, then it's bogging you down. If finances aren't high on your priorities, it's going to be painful, hard work when you go to get your shit sorted. And even when you try to get your shit sorted, you might not be able to a greater degree because you've got certain beliefs about that. So how much of an impact is all this making in your life right now? Because if this is the first time you've come across the concepts, maybe it's a bit woo-hooey, a bit out there, a bit outlandish. I've tried to be quite scientific about this so far. Let's have a look at how powerful the human mind is actually. Have you ever heard of certain stories of, say, a woman's in a car accident with her kids and there's someone trapped, or there's someone unconscious, the car's flipped over, and someone's trapped under the car, the petrol's leaking. It's almost like an action movie, but it's in real life. And you hear these ridiculous feats of strength where a mother or a teenage boy will all of a sudden be able to summon the strength to lift the car off someone, not off the ground, but like tilt it off someone so someone can get out. The adrenaline is pumping so much that they've almost got superhuman strength and they're just reacting in that way. So this is just a crazy feat of an example of how powerful the human mind is. I want you to realize this, because once the human mind sees a situation as its objectives and thoughts and lines and behaviors, everything's aligned together in action, you can achieve amazing feats of what you're going for in life. Some people, in a singular moment, it's to get a fucking car off a person that's trapped. No doubt you guys have all seen and heard some of these concepts, is the placebo effect. So you've probably heard other stories where doctors have claimed to have some patients, not all, and by the way, this is just talk to your doctor if you're going through a really hard time, but some doctors have claimed that their patients who've had depression and illness and even cancer can go into remission or be cured based on the mind, based on the psychosomatic response. They'll give out sugar pills or placebo, sugar pills to these patients. They obviously know they're in a study, they're a blind study, yet they have these amazing feats of results based on what the mind believes. So you actually have this absolute weapon at your disposal, your mind. If you know how to use it and leverage it, one singular belief can have a profound effect on you and your actions and your life experiences. Now, you can have the inverse effect. This can be happening to you. And another word for it is actually the nocebo effect instead of the placebo effect. So the placebo effect is, here's a sugar pill, the patient believes it's the right medication and has a good response to it and gets better. You can actually have the opposite effect. And there was actually a study done, I think it was in Italy. It's just as powerful and well and truly documented as an actual thing that exists, just as much as the placebo effect. And there was a study out there of men taking real medication, so not fake medication, not sugar pills, but real medication for enlarged prostates. And half of the group was told that erectile dysfunction could be a side effect, and half weren't told that this would be the case. And it wasn't a side effect of this medication, but they were told that it was. And just from being told one time by someone in a place of authority, like half the people in this group, of a side effect that isn't even a side effect, 44% of the guys in the group that were told erectile dysfunction might be a symptom actually had erectile dysfunction reported in some form or another as a side effect. It's astounding, and it wasn't even a side effect in the study. So I want you to think, like, what nocebo effect beliefs could you be holding on to without you even knowing? Like I said before, maybe your parents have said money doesn't grow on trees, turn the lights off, stop being selfish, you're embarrassing us. Maybe you're a kid in the shopping centre and you're throwing a tantrum or a fit. Be quiet, you've been a bad boy. This happened to me. This happened to me a lot in kindergarten, I remember. I was always yelling, and it can have this adverse effect on you whether you know it or not, because it's unconscious, it's subconscious. One singular belief can have a profound effect on you, on your actions and your life experiences. Just bring you to where you are today, somewhat fulfilled but lacking something. A void that brought you to this video, void in either your self-identity, your finances, your career and business, your intellect, your mentality, your social life, sex life, family life, physical health. Let's talk about how the conscious mind works in your current life, your current desires, because what we learned with Bruce is that the subconscious is running the show 95% of the time, but your conscious desires 5% of the time. They're creative, they're running the show from your new environment. So let's talk about them. So you've come to learn that maybe it'd be wise to get my finances sorted and become financially free. It'd be a smart idea to get my social skills up, to have my own business instead of working for someone else, to be eating and performing at a better physical state than to not be, to be, in such a way where your thoughts, words and actions are aligned then. So these goals, these desires, they weren't evident and prominent enough in your first 7 years of life to be deemed high on your hierarchy of priorities in your subconscious. But you know how vital they kind of are. And your goals probably stem around most of these at the moment. But that's the thing, you've grown up in a different environment compared to what would be advantageous to thrive in the modern world currently. Case in point, the internet. So now more than ever, we're starting to see the grand extremes of tangible success, and we have extreme reach to knowledge that wasn't easily accessible from when we were kids, not only to us, for our parents. And it's time to change your habits, your behaviors, your beliefs. It's time to get what you actually want out of life. But again, there's something holding you back. You keep trying to accomplish these tasks, but you can't stay consistent and driven enough to complete these tasks. So what the fuck is happening? Are you kind of just beating yourself up, and you're just left with random bouts of negativity, such as anger and aggression, blame and feelings of betrayal, self-criticism, criticism of others, feeling that you're challenged, feelings of despondency and despair? Well, you're in a different environment than what's conducive. You need to be different in a subconscious level in order to get the tangible results. So let's have a look at a bit of a comparison. Subconscious on your left, this is your level of priorities. Let's get it on a comparison to your conscious priorities. So maybe you've come to realize that entrepreneurship should be quite high. Finances need to be higher on your priority list. Maybe certain things need to be taken down, such as football. So let's just have a look. Maybe football should be taken down. Finances should be higher. Maybe not only finances higher, but beliefs about money should be changed. Dating shouldn't be such a high priority. This is all hypothetical, by the way. I don't you could be a sex maniac having a business based on dating and sex, and that can be high up on your priority list. Maybe travel should be higher. Maybe entrepreneurship isn't even on your hierarchy of subconscious priorities, and you need to put it up there. Same as health. Maybe health isn't even up there. Maybe you have certain beliefs about health that are inaccurate. Whenever you're trying to accomplish goals in your conscious priorities and they don't match your subconscious priorities, you're going to have this disconnect. And that's when you get those feelings of negativity, that anger and aggression, blame, betrayal, criticism, challenge, feelings of depressive feelings and despair, because no matter how much time and effort you try to accomplish these goals, without you knowing, these always take priority. And why is that again? Let's have a look. Because 95% of the time, your subconscious mind is running the show. These are going to take priority 95% of the time. these bad boys, these are fucked. Like, you know, strategically, like, if you're here, you know how valuable it is to have a good mindset, like better brain function, better health, how important it is to be financially secure, to have a greater self-worth, etc. Like, but when your priorities are something like this and they don't match up with this, you're always going to be striving to accomplish this, but 95% of the time you're going to be accomplishing this. And this is how the reticular activation system works. Like, and when you do have that disconnect, when these aren't aligned, when these aren't working for each other, with each other, that's when you're going to have those dopamine, quick fix dopamine reactions to whatever you're going through in life. So you're going to start maybe having excess foods that are high in like corn syrup and whatever the fuck that's just ruining your brain. Maybe you're drinking alcohol, having excess caffeine, smoking, doing drugs, watching porn, watching TV, you're on YouTube, you're gossiping, you're on social media, just scrolling and scrolling. Whatever your position might be, this is the cycle of it. Like, these aren't matching up, these aren't aligned. And your conscious goals are going to remain a fantasy that you painfully cannot reach until you either retrain your subconscious neural pathways to align closer to these priorities, or you reset your conscious priorities to align closer to your subconscious. We do a bit of both, because no doubt, whatever your hierarchy of priorities are at the moment, you do actually have quite a lot of enjoyment and fulfillment in these, but you just want a little bit more of these. So, you don't know what your subconscious hierarchy of priorities are that I've been rambling on about. Your conscious goals, you have a pretty good idea of what you want, but it's not extremely clear. It's not extremely exciting. It doesn't wake you up and just scream at me, and you don't have that fucking fire to accomplish them. What the fuck do you do? So, in the action step exercises of this module, I'll be giving you instructions on how to determine your subconscious priorities. And there's another prep exercise to be completed before our first call regarding your conscious goals. If you do the exercises honestly, it'll help us realign those conscious goals and those subconscious goals into a strategic pathway and a strategic network of thinking and acting and behaving. After this video, just get onto these exercises before our call, and we're going to leverage the answers and strip away all the bullshit, all the stuff that's just taking up your time and effort, everything that's just draining you and adding to your to-do list. We're going to get crystal clarity on both your conscious and subconscious priorities, and then it's a matter of retraining them to more align. Before I go into those exercises, let's really quick have a look at what's wrong with how the mind determines what your conscious goals are. So if you were to meet me